Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Overtime. This is Maricel Casino Rivera, and it's another Thursday episode of Overtime. Attorney Oka, good afternoon. Welcome to Overtime.
Yes, salamat. Thank you. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, everyone. And wow, welcome to another episode of Overtime. And of course, we are very fortunate this afternoon. We have a very special guest, and our topic is something, wow, artistic, and of course, it requires a special talent and a discerning eye and an excellent taste, no? And wow, and this kind of art. We're actually talking of two things essentially. One is on the painting. His paintings are really worth uh, preserving, and of course, we are very grateful that he has done many paintings. And second is on special stones. I didn't realize, his special stones are now of course, the special wish of many rich individuals, families, for their homes and for their special places. Please, Sel, do the honor of introducing our special guest who will talk about his art and his works. Please do the honor.
Yes, thank you, Attorney. Our guest this afternoon is an American Filipino artist. He grew up in the Philippines and studied at DLSU's College of St. Benilde before doing his postgraduate work at Cabell College in Oxford. His paintings express his love of street culture and the warmth of his affection for his Filipino subjects. He is the founder and president of Kaufman Incorporated, located in San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines. Kaufman is established in 1997, and it is the Philippines' leading supplier of granite, marble, quartz, onyx, sandstone, limestone, and more. From sourcing, fabrication, installation, restoration, and maintenance of high-quality natural stone, that's Kaufman Stone Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome David Edward Carriedo Kaufman. Sir, good afternoon. Welcome to Overtime.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah, first of all, David, good afternoon. And yeah, we'd like to thank you for accepting our invitation. We know your schedule is quite tight, especially these days, no? As, of course, with all these constructions that are taking place, as the economy is beginning to pick up after the pandemic. Now, David, let me just ask you for some background information. You know, there's a famous street in Manila, the Old Manila, and up to now, it's one of the heaviest, most trafficked streets in that Old Manila, named Carriedo. I suppose your family is related to the person in whose honor that street has been named.
That's true. He came to the Philippines about 250 years ago, in about the end of the 17th century, and we descend from him. So he was the Gobernador General, and apparently he donated money to form the Philippine Waterworks, or Manila Waterworks, back at that time. So we're his descendants. So there's not a lot of us left. I could say not more than 50 people who have descended from him are left, because there was only two brothers who came to the Philippines in the
Wow.
middle of the 16th century. So that's a long time ago. He
And
was,
yeah,
in fact,
yeah, yeah.
most
Please
most
continue.
uh, most Spanish people only trace their heritage to the 18th century. So
Uh-huh.
we go back to the 1650s. So that's about 100 years after the Philippines was discovered. So that's pretty early.
Yeah,
So we're
and
proud of him. We're very
yeah,
proud that it was named after him because he was a philanthropist and he donated what they call a princely sum for the purpose of building waterworks because there was no water in the Philippines at the time. You could only carry it using a ceramic jug from the river, and you bought it from people selling water. So there was a lack of hygiene, and people were dying at that time from cholera. And so my ancestor, I don't know if he's great, but
uh,
he felt it was his religious duty and it was his God calling to do this for the Philippines. So he donated a very large amount of money to the Philippine government in his lifetime. It wasn't a will like when he was dead. He gave it when he was alive. So that's really something to admire, and we always think about that as a model of how to behave because it's very noble of him.
yeah, galing, galing. Thank you for sharing that information because when I studied in Manila, Carriedo has always been a place that we would be going to, especially near the Escolta area. Avenida Rizal and Carriedo was the one that's connected. In fact, the Quiapo Church to Avenida Rizal, no, and I had in fact wondered why that name, no, and now you've given us the answer. And so, do you still speak Spanish up to now?
No, although I do spend a few months of the year in Madrid,
Uh huh.
unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish.
Uh huh. Yeah, but you
I'm
also
very I'm very poor with languages.
but you also studied in London, David.
Yeah. Well, that's very easy because we can speak English in that country.
Yeah, and wow, have you really?
People College is outside London. That's in Oxford, about
Yeah,
1.5 hours from London.
I see. I see. And when was the first time that you saw the artistic talent in you? When did you realize that you had this special talent in art?
Well, I read something today. Picasso, he said all children are artists, and then
Uh-huh.
when they become adults, they stop being artists. So I think everyone was an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Uh,
wow,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's okay. So because you studied in LaSalle, and then he went to London for
Yeah.
an advanced course, uh, and then you founded Kaufman store. Were you the founder of this, David?
Well, of course, with the help of my father, he let
Uh-huh.
me use his office and his organization to form the corporation. So he had a team. So I always watch his method of doing business, and so I just patterned this entity out of what he does. So we formed a corporation, we created a board of directors, then
Yeah.
we founded the business about 25 years ago, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
Uh-huh. But what business was your father into, David, if I may ask?
He was representing a Israeli irrigation company called Naan
Uh-huh.
Irrigation, and they eventually were bought by Jardine Davis, which is an
Uh-huh.
international company, and
Yes.
they supply irrigation because Israel is very good with agriculture.
Yes.
So they do the drip irrigation with the pumps and the sprinklers. So that was
Yeah.
his business.
I see.
So uh, I used I piggybacked on his organization in the first few months so that we could form the corporation and all of those things.
But you had a different, probably an outside line of business, no, from
Well, it's very
irrigation.
different because I noticed during the Asian financial crisis
Uh-huh.
that the only surviving industry was construction.
Uh-huh.
So when I started the business during the Asian financial crisis, it was right in the middle. It was the only active business out there, besides maybe food or something like that. So, but everything else was dead. So since construction was the last um, healthy aspect of the economy, um, I noticed that there was a demand for this kind of thing. So that's when we got into
Yeah.
stone. Because to be honest, it's a bit strange, but I collected rocks. I think we all collect rocks, right? When we were a
Yes.
kid. Sure, you went to the beach and you collect shells, you collect rocks. So I just took my
Yeah.
hobby to the next level. I took my rock collection and I made it into a business. So now I had a few contracts doing some houses in Davao. We got some of our first jobs is from Davao because my family is now based in Davao. The
I
Carriedos
see.
have moved there in the 20th century, 20 something. The main Carriedos moved from Manila to Davao, so they're from Mindanao now, and so all of the rest, all of our relatives are now based there, and so we got some projects in the villages in the Davao City, and then we got some projects for the Ayalas here in Metro Manila in Forbes Park, and from there, the business just started to grow. And that was in 1997.
Yeah, because
Now,
you are dealing with special stones, and
well, it's not marble and granite. Actually, it's a very basic material because it's used in all buildings for their lobbies, for their bathrooms,
uh-huh.
their kitchen countertops. So, of course, I have special stones, but we also 95% of what we do is very mainstream.
Yeah, but you have your special way of designing things.
Well, we're not a designer of art. We're not an architect or an interior designer. We consider ourselves a contractor of stone. So we're
Uh-huh.
like a specialist trade contractor. So we
Uh-huh.
have our licenses to provide construction services, but only for stone installation and stone services. We're not a general contractor like doing
Yeah.
vertical buildings or horizontal construction. We only do specialist trade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very unique, but it's actually in everyone's home. I'm sure even in your house, you have natural stone in your kitchen counter or
Yeah.
your steps or in your garden. So it's a very basic thing. Every building will use it for some aspect of the construction.
But your clients,
Yeah.
David, are big time clients. These are not small time owners. No. Let's
Yeah.
talk, for instance, about some of your customers in the past. Of course, I understand you were involved in the construction of the cultural center of the Philippines. Is that correct?
Well, not the construction, but the restoration of the facade, because that
Ah,
was
okay.
built that was built
Way back.
in 1968 by Imelda Marcos
That's right.
using Leandro Locsin, who's a national architect. And
Yes.
so in the Philippines, people consider the cultural center of the Philippines to be a very important landmark. It's like an icon of modernist design and culture, and it has been standing there very beautiful for maybe almost 60 years. So
Yes.
of course, everything needs some renovation, and so I think they renovated it in the 90s, and then they renovated it in the year 2000, and that's when we were invited to lend our assistance. So what
So
we did was the
yeah,
exterior facade, the rectangle on the outside that looks like it's floating above the dark area. So the upper area is made out of an Italian stone called travertino or travertine.
wait, can
So
we on the building? Can you show the picture, please? Yeah, that one. While David is explaining that, yeah, can we do some
So
close up?
travertine comes from many different countries. It comes from Turkey, comes from Iran, and it comes from Italy. But this one comes from Italy, and it was chosen by architect Leandro Luxin because he wanted it to look very light and floating. He wanted to have this feeling of lightness. So if you can notice, it's cantilevered. So the sides of the rectangular box doesn't have any support except from the center. So it looks like it's got a very light appearance. But in reality, it's got a lot of structure on the inside. It's got a theater, it's got staircases, it's got elevators, it's got seating. It's a very big structure to
Yeah,
suspend without any posts. So you can see normally you'll have a post on the corner of a building, but this has
that's
no post. So as you can see, it's what you call cantilevered. So this is really an icon, and it's actually a very important building to me because this is where I brought my wife on our first date before we got married, obviously.
Yeah.
galing.
So when the UP College of Architecture, the dean Honrado Fernandez, uh, was called by the Cultural Center of the Philippines president Nestor Hardin, if they know anyone who can help, they called me. And the reason they called me is because I introduced myself to Dean Fernandez because he's an artist. So almost 20, 30 years ago, I asked him for help with art already. That's how far back my history with the art goes. Even 30 years ago, I was already planning my art, which will happen only 30 years later.
Wow, ang galing. He remembered that, obviously.
Well, he remembered me as a stone
Yeah,
specialist. He didn't
yeah.
call me because of the art. It's just that when that's the only way because I'm not an architect. So how will I know the dean of architecture of the College of UP? It's impossible. So I only knew him because he's a sculptor, and he produces beautiful stainless steel sculpture. So I talked to the gallery and I said, can I talk to the artist because I need to ask him some questions, and that's
Uh,
the reason I know him. And then after that, maybe 15 years later, he calls me up and he goes, "I need I need your advice. I need your help."
ang galing, galing.
Yeah. So there, that's how it happened.
That's for
Ang
the
galing.
CCP.
And how long did it take you to do this job, David?
I think like 3 months because it takes
Uh,
about 1 month to import the material, and then actually we're not the installer in this particular job. My friend installed it from his company. We only provided the stone in this situation,
I see. I see.
but
Wow.
normally we install. But the owner, the my friend, didn't want to make a mistake because obviously I've been doing a lot of research on this project, and he felt I was the best one to provide the stone. So he collaborated with me, and I was very happy to work with him. So even though he's technically a competitor, we're we were collaborators and very friendly up to this day. We call each other, we help each other, we compete. So it's a very gentlemanly uh, business landscape.
Wow. I understand, David, with your permission, that you also did other projects, no, on relating to stones. Would
Yes.
you like to share some of them and
Well,
share with us?
the one that a lot of people know me for is the Manny Pacquiao Mansion in Forbes Park,
Okay.
because I installed this about 12 years ago, and when Manny Pacquiao lived in the house for 12 years, he wanted to change the appearance of the house. So he changed all of the travertine, which is very, very expensive material, and it's only found in the most exclusive projects in the Philippines. But I regret to say, Manny Pacquiao did not realize it's expensive, and he demolished all of the stone and he changed it to tiles, synthetic tiles.
Wow.
Ah,
So I made a little bit of comment, and it went viral on the internet because people were a little bit shocked. They were like, there was 50% of the population was like, that's terrible. How can Manny Pacquiao do that? That's such a waste of money. And then the other 50% said, well, he made his money fair and square. He's an honest man. He can do whatever he wants. So that was the debate. Uh, that was the that was the public discussion, and I was caught in the middle. So I didn't want to engage anymore in that conversation. So I just turned off my Facebook for about 3 months.
So what happened to the more expensive stones? They were
They
discarded.
threw it, he threw it away. He threw it
Wow.
away.
oh, how much was that?
Actually, he did not buy the stone because he bought the house from a
We did.
previous person. He bought it
Yeah.
from the RCBC Bank president, Lorenzo Tan. And everyone
I,
knows the story. He went up to the man. It was not for sale. Maybe it was only worth 200 million, but
Mm,
he said, I'll buy it for you for 385 million, which of
mm,
course the seller said, I'm not selling it, but since you're offering me so much
yeah.
above market price, I'll take the money. So he took the money, and he supplied the house. It was the most beautiful house at the time. And you know what happened to the house since then, right? It went
Yeah.
from 384 million to 700 million to
mm.
1 billion to
Wow.
1.2 billion to 2 billion, and now people are selling it for 2.5 billion pesos. Can you believe it?
Wow.
He paid 385 and it's now 2.5 billion.
Mm-hmm. With
That's
the
what you
praise.
call smart, right? People people say he's not smart, but I don't think that's true. Look at that. That's a good investment.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's in Forbes Park, which is
Yeah.
one of the premier subdivisions in the country now.
And he's
And,
lucky. He's been trying to sell it for many years, but lucky he didn't sell it, because if he sold it at 700 million, right now
yeah,
he won't have a 2.5 billion peso house.
yeah, yeah. And it may even
So
go. It may still be go. It may still go up, David.
yes,
Well,
could be, could be.
with inflation and all that.
I
So
have
this is
only I only have respect for Manny Pacquiao. I didn't mean to make any form of insinuation that he lacks the sophistication or he doesn't know style or design. That's not at all what I'm saying. I just wish he knew the value of his material which of course only the architect can notify him. So I feel the architect did not do his job. It's just like when I did the restoration of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the
Yeah.
architects would never demolish the facade built by Imelda Marcos and Leandro Locsin. They will
Sin.
only uh, do a restoration, meaning they're going to change it and improve it just a little bit, but not
Yeah.
change the whole concept of the project. But in this Manny Pacquiao, it was all changed to a new material. They didn't
Yeah.
preserve the old. So, of course, I feel
Yeah.
uh, a highly skilled and knowledgeable architect should have made every effort to explain to the owner
Yeah.
the effects of his actions. Like a
Good.
lawyer, if the client tells you that they want to do something and you know it's wrong, of course you will do everything in your power to stop the client. You'll say no, you cannot do that. You're going to It will be against your interest. You might
Yeah.
be jailed for that, right? So
Yeah.
as a lawyer, you will always advise them. You can't just say, oh, he's the client, so I have to listen to the client. The
Yeah.
lawyer must assert himself. And same thing with an architect, same thing with a doctor. The
Indeed.
client is not always right. Sometimes
Indeed.
they have to be educated. They have to be educated. And then they can make their decision. If they say, I don't care, the value, it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I have so much money, I can throw it away. If they say that, then go ahead, tear
Mhm.
Yeah.
down the house, right? But
Good.
if the architect can see that there is still value in that thing, I think you should notify your client. Oh, this should be saved. This should be preserved. You can save
Uh-uh.
money here. You can save money there, because that's
Yeah.
I think, the responsible way to act as a design professional. Because you're an architect, you have a license. You're not just a
Yeah.
salesman in a hardware. Your
Yeah.
job is to make a decision, to think, and to know what's best, and to use all of your knowledge of Philippine law, construction law,
Yeah.
in making your decision. You can't just say, tear it down. Why? Because I'll make more money. That's not
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, David, uh, is there a sort of a protocol, a feng shui protocol relating to stones, granite, marble, and things like that?
Well, before, the Chinese don't like color black, so they
Uh-huh.
will not use a lot of black in their houses. But now modern Chinese are okay with black.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that's about it. Only the color black. And also, when you install a slab, don't put the line in the middle of the door. They want it to have like one whole piece in the door.
I see.
Other than that, I don't know anything related to
Yeah.
feng shui.
Yeah. And can we take a look at the other works that you have done? Wow. Uh, that's not these are not simple jobs, David. What were the other things, other projects that you have done?
Well, we also, besides stone, we also do swimming pools. So we did the swimming pool of Coco Martin, the actor.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So
Martin,
Coco
Provinciano.
Martin,
Yeah.
using
using
gold?
using a special stone coming from Indonesia. It's called Batu Hijau. So it looks like a resort. It's very beautiful. So if you look at
Yeah,
the pool, it has an emerald green like appearance.
yeah,
And this is also used in another internet personality, the Kramers, Doug Kramer. He's like I think a basketball player who became a internet influencer. So I think they
yeah,
might be one of the most popular on the internet at the moment. They have like millions and millions of followers. So we did his swimming pool. We also did the swimming pool of Vice Ganda. So of course, everyone knows Vice Ganda.
Yeah.
She's got like a beautiful house. Her swimming
Pool.
pool is black.
Saan
So
ito?
it's a very,
Ito.
that's Doug Kramer. Doug
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
Kramer is the internet celebrity and
yeah,
basketball player.
the player, the basketball player.
He's a basketball player, a very good basketball player and internet influencer. And they have a online show called Team Kramer. Team
Yeah.
Kramer, I
Great.
believe it's called.
Yeah. Can
Kramer
we ta-
Team. Yeah.
can we take a look at the other
And
pool?
then, uh, and then, of course, we have some resorts. We've done resorts for Amanpulo, for El
Mm.
Nido, for Dusit Hotel, for Pearl Farm,
Hi,
for
Kramer.
Boracay Shangri-La. We've done
Oh,
Big time.
hotels here in Manila, like the Conrad Hotel, Edsa Plaza. And I don't mean the construction. We only do the stone.
yeah,
We
yeah.
do
Mm.
some aspects of the building, not the entire building itself.
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
one of our latest is a casino in Clark called Han Casino.
can you show pictures of the pools? I
I
think we have.
I sent
I,
you a few already.
I think we have accessed many of your pictures in Facebook, no?
Gonna
And
use
Yes,
if
yes.
we can show these pictures showing pools,
Okay, well, let's
and
see if I can find
probably
one.
probably David can tell us the story about this pool or that. This one, David. Where is this?
Well, that's only a reference photo. That's not our project because
Okay.
I
Yep.
represent a company in Thailand, and that's their sales material.
Yeah. Can you show other pictures, please?
I'm trying to look for one here.
Yeah. Wow. So, so David, you you also have some paintings.
Yes, of course. Okay, I can send you one painting here. I mean,
Yeah.
one swimming pool. This is the Dusit Hotel in um, in Davao.
Dusit.
Okay, yeah,
Dusit Tani.
this is in
I
Davao.
thought we have copies of these pictures already.
Yeah, I think I sent you the Dusit in Davao. And I also do the swimming pools for all of the Rockwell projects. You know, the
Rockwell.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
so
from
all over
Padilla.
the Philippines. All over the Philippines, they have Rockwell, like in Cebu, in
Yeah, yeah.
Iloilo, in Bacolod, and
Kanin.
Manila.
This one, David.
Dusit Tani in Davao.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Dusit.
So we've become,
Ay, sa'yo pala
we
to, sir. Mhm.
yeah. So now we're doing most of the swimming pools in the Philippines for the high end.
Wow. And how much? Wow. I won't. I'm afraid to ask how much this is worth,
It's
David.
not a lot. It's very reasonable. We
Uh,
sell to everyone, including DMCI, which is they're
yeah,
MCI.
not like going to spend a lot of money on these kinds of things. So
yeah. Can we also show some other pictures? Yeah.
trying to find here.
This one, sir, is
This
the
one.
Hermes.
Hermes, yeah, we did the Hermes store in Greenbelt.
These
Ah,
are
So that
yours.
was very
You supplied the stones.
yes, only the stone.
Yeah. And wow, special stones,
special
David. Huh?
stones because you get the design
Yeah,
really mimics the
oh,
How
yes,
how
yeah.
how do you source the stones?
Sorry.
How do you source the stones? Where do you source them? Where do you get them?
Well, we go all over the world: Italy, Spain,
Ah,
uh,
Uh,
imported na mga ano.
China,
Oo.
Indonesia, Turkey, Egypt.
We don't have those things available in the country. We don't produce them.
Well, we only have two kinds of marble here. One is from Romblon. The other one is in here in Luzon from Teresa, which is beige. So they don't really have those kinds of
Yeah.
unique colors. There's only two colors. The one
Yeah.
in Romblon is white. The one in
Yeah.
Teresa is beige. So if you want colors like green, red, yellow, orange, we also do a lot of churches. We did the Naik Cathedral in
Oh,
Naik
Cavite. We
Cavite.
did
Oh,
Trece Martires Cathedral. We did
Mm,
the Trozo in Binondo and the others in New Manila because in most churches also use a lot of stone.
wow. Grabe.
yeah. Bongga na mga ano,
Oh.
projects. Dito po sa here in Mindanao, sir, you can find those kinds of stones. I don't know
Well, they
if
have local suppliers, but of course they don't have the unique ones. They might have the basics like black granite, salt and pepper, white marble. This is what you will find in your normal mga hardware. But if you want the ones that are like for Hermes or Gucci or Louis Vuitton, or because we also do those brands, we did Todd's, Louis Vuitton, Nine West, Kenneth Cole, uh, Marks and Spencer, Raoul, almost all the Rustans, Philippe Chariol. So all these people have foreign specifications. We have to follow the design uh, choices made by the international team. So the Philippine architect, their job is only to find a local counterpart and source it. So that's where we come in. So we help them. We even do Shake Shack. And now, can you believe it? We're even supplying 7-Eleven. Not all, but I'm happy
seven.
that, yeah, that makes me so happy to know that we can supply Hermes, the most expensive bag in the world, down to
Yeah.
7-Eleven, which is like a convenience store. It just shows you we're democratic. We don't choose. It doesn't, you don't have to be rich or poor. We'll deal with everybody. So
You're
we don't
inclusive.
discriminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was interested, you were saying earlier that the cost of the construction is just the same with the cost of the bag sold at Hermes.
Yeah, my construction for my stone, I don't think equals even one bag for the whole shop. Honestly, because how much is a bag? 1 million, two
Yeah.
million. I didn't get paid 1 million or 2 million. I think marami pang deduction sila.
Yeah. Mahal pa yung bag kesa sa
Yeah, I think their Dutch
structure.
bag is already expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. You were, I don't know if that was yours. You showed a photo with Vice Ganda. You did a project for him.
Well,
That-
I don't have an actual photo because I never entered the house myself
this
after
one.
construction. So I just got this photo from the internet, but I did the swimming pool in that project. So
Ay,
Vice Ganda wanted a black swimming pool.
Yeah.
So they saw our material and they bought it. So that's it.
grabe ng mga bahay ngayon.
Yes. Oo.
David,
Nice.
marble and granite. And,
Yeah,
wow.
it's so nice. I love that house. Vice Ganda's got great taste.
Yeah. For ordinary houses, kahit ano, mga middle class, ang granite, yung ano lang countertop sa kitchen.
But you don't have to be rich to have a beautiful house. You can have a small lot and build just like the Japanese. The houses in Japan are so small,
Yeah.
but they're beautiful. So you don't have to think, oh, because my lot is not like Forbes Park, I'm poor. So act I will act poor, I will behave poor, and my life will be just a sad looking, ugly experience. It doesn't have to be. In Japan, no matter how small their house, they
But they
still will they will still keep it clean. They will still maintain it. They will take out all the clutter. They will use good materials. I think even if you're earning minimum wage, you can have a beautiful home if you choose. It's a choice. It's all on. Don't say because you're uneducated or you never traveled that you don't know what it's like to be in a beautiful place, because you have Google search, or just
yeah,
go to
yeah,
Starbucks. Just copy Starbucks.
yes, yes.
Just copy them. Paint your house black, get some paluchina, put it on your walls, and then go to my factory and just say, "Sir, may mga retaso kayo? I might give it to you for free, libre."
Yeah, mga retaso, ayun, di ba? Binibenta rin ng
Actually,
iba
my
eh.
retaso, a lot of it I gave it to an artist who's into sculpture, because I want them to find a use for my product so that it's going to be like sustainable. Because I want my product, I don't want it to be thrown away. I want it to be used for any application. Like, I'll give it to someone building a garden, I'll give it to a sculptor, anyone
Yeah,
who's willing to send a truck, they can get my retaso. Just don't make it tambak. As long as you use it into mosaic, into art, into sculpture, into any product. If you're like even a poor person, if you come to me and you say, I want to make paperweights, I want to make ball pen holders, I want to make uh, some kind of game chess set, I'm going to support you. But no one is doing that. I guess a lot of people, when they're poor, they just feel that's their destiny. They can't change it.
yeah. David, when I was governor of Misamis Oriental, we constructed in a park beside the capital a
Yeah.
uh, a place for chess. Now, so we have
Yes.
about how many tables, chess tables? About
Yes.
12, 15. And
Okay.
I specified that our chess table, the piece where the chess table itself should be marble.
Yeah.
I, and up to now, and that was when was when did we build that? That was 2007, 2008. No, so
Still the
wow,
same. It's still there.
20 years ago, no, and now it's still serving young boys
Yeah.
and girls, no, learning how to play chess.
Yeah. So
And
why is no one? We have 100 million people in the Philippines. How many people are below the poverty line? They should
yeah,
go and look for different scrap materials and make objects. Like, go to the wood companies, go to the stone companies, go to the glass companies. Ramon Orlina, the sculptor.
yeah,
Yeah.
His glass sculptures came from the excess glass of Pacific Glass.
wow,
So
Um,
now one piece of glass sculpture is worth 5 million pesos, or 1 to 5 million, and that just came from excess glass. He started out
wow,
using the junk, and he turned it into 5 million pesos each. And he's been making hundreds and hundreds and then thousands. So imagine if he sold 1,000 pieces of 1 million peso sculptures. He's a billionaire. And
yeah, galing.
he just got the glass for free. That was before. Now maybe he's buying his own glass, because I know he uses different colors like pink, blue, white, and yellow. So they don't have that at Pacific Glass. But
Yeah,
before, he's just getting it for free. So I want to make my own Orlinas. They can come to my factory. They can get my stone, the mga retaso, and make something, create
Yeah.
incredible art, and enrich the Filipino people. I mean, Orlina should become a national artist. And imagine if 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 Pacific Glass did not give
Yeah.
free of charge the scrap broken glass to Orlina, we would not have Orlina right now. He
Yeah.
would just be an ordinary guy.
Siguro yung
Yeah,
mga
I believe
Yeah.
it.
mga
So
retaso
so
ni
so I gave my retazo to an artist. Her name is Candice. She's
uh,
now trained in a place called Florence, of course, in Florence. So she's doing mosaic. So I also am helping other artists, and I'm encouraging to come and get. I'm not charging. I think I gave tons of stone away because at the moment it's just occupying a lot of space in our warehouse. So we rather support the artists that way.
yeah, parang yung collage, di ba? Yung
Yeah.
mosaic.
You
Yeah,
must
like a
say.
collage. Exactly. Everyone
Uh,
tells me, David, why don't you do it yourself? You know, well, you have to be inspired first. It's just like you. You're a lawyer. I think if you want to have a hobby, do you want it also to be law? I don't think so, right? You want it something else, maybe golf or maybe cooking. So imagine my work is stone and my hobby is also stone. Oh my gosh, I have no more life.
you just give away your scrap stones. I'll
Well,
ask you.
because every day we have new scrap, so it's like it's a continuous production of scrap because
Yeah,
that's our job. We cut the stone, so laging may mga scrap, right? So we don't throw it away. We just collect it, and then until maybe one day I find inspiration to do something, or but at the
yeah,
moment we like Senator Nikki Coseteng.
Hmm.
I told her she can use it in her grade school because she's the principal and owner of a school. I think it's in Congressional in Quezon City.
yeah,
So I told her, why don't you get your students to do some mosaic arts? So I'm trying to. So she's going to pick it up and do that with her students. There's a lot of use of mosaic. Like you can see it in Barcelona. Antoni Gaudi, the very famous architect in Gaudi, he gets the broken ceramic and then he makes beautiful architecture with it. So he decorates outside of buildings.
yeah,
So there's so much use because like uh, if you want to be a responsible business owner, sustainable, then what you have to do is you have to reduce your waste. And by reducing waste, you reduce the what you throw away, and you're also reducing consumption because if you're
yeah,
using 100% of the raw material, that means there's much higher productivity, right? Instead of
that's
you're only using 30%, I mean 60% and 40%, you're throwing it away. So that means you have a low rate of productivity. So you have to use more resources, more raw materials, more fossil fuels, more carbon footprint.
yeah,
But of course, it's not easy to do this because people are busy. They don't have time to think about sustainability, ecology, carbon footprint, helping the environment. They just want everything fast, right? That's normally how it is. Fast
they,
and
Yeah.
cheap. That's
yeah,
the game. That's the model game plan. They don't have time for reducing waste, choosing a green material. Uh,
yeah,
if it costs more, because if you're green, normally it costs more to do that because you have to buy it from a green factory. That means they're not polluting. That means they're following certain international regulations on how to produce safely. But of course, most factories in the world, at least in Southeast Asia, our biggest neighbor, we will not mention the name, they're not always following international green standards, and neither are we. We're guilty of the same thing. So I'm not pointing any fingers. We're all guilty. I think the only ones that are not guilty, maybe someone in Netherlands or
Yeah.
Denmark. These people, they're very green. They're like carbon neutral. But of course, here in the Philippines, we're throwing away everything. We're using a lot of energy. We don't think about pollution as much until the DNR comes knocking on our door. Then all of a sudden, we change things. But until that time, we're doing it as fast as possible, cheap as possible, make as much money as possible, and that's, I would say, almost 99.99% of the world. I think the world is like that. I won't say Filipinos, but I think it's the world, because the world is commercial. We're commercially driven, so we're always thinking about bottom line.
Yeah. David, if you won't mind, can we take a look at your paintings? I'm excited also to take a look at the paintings, especially if you could explain them.
Yeah, and besides, I would like also to know why do you have that special interest on street culture on your paintings?
Well, I did always have this interest in street culture. What I had was an interest in architecture, because my business is in that field. So since I'm not a formally trained architect, I felt that for me to enter into sensible discussions with my customers, who are the best architects in the Philippines, like Lor Calma, Ed Calma, Nazareno, Anton Mendoza, I have to have the same experience and knowledge as them. So whenever I travel, I try to photograph for my own use the best architecture in the world, and I try to look specifically at the stone, because so that when I explain to my customer, okay, we have this black stone, it's going to look like this upon completion. Just like you showed the house of Manny Pacquiao, you showed the house of Vice Ganda, you showed the house of Doug Kramer, because a picture is 1,000 words. So when you show the photo, it really helps the client understand what you're trying to tell to them, right? So when I go around the world, I take pictures, and it started with that. So that happened like maybe 10 years ago. I started, or maybe 15 years ago, I started taking pictures of my projects. So I would print the project on a paper, like you go to Kodak and you print it. Because before, there was no cell phone with pictures to show it to your customers. So I have to have an album. So I have an album with the pictures, right? So this is like 25 years ago. I have to show a picture, like this is how this looks like. This is how this looked like. This is the project in Davao. This is the project in Makati. And people then it'll help as a sales tool, because it's like a brochure, right?
Yeah.
Then,
can we take? Yeah. Sorry.
So then I would begin looking at the architecture. Then I started posting it on the internet. And then later on, during the pandemic, I decided to stay in Cavite with my wife. Actually, it was her idea. I just agreed. So we stayed there, and then I started to do some art. So my art back then, which was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, was more of like a collage. So I would get objects and stick it together, and then I would take pictures of the countryside and then use that as my inspiration. So I would take a picture of it. Hello?
Can you show the pictures, please, so that David can explain?
I don't know if I have any pictures on this phone. I only have it on that phone.
We have some of the pictures sourced from your Facebook
Yeah. Well,
Can
why don't you be the
can
one to look? Try to look at it then.
you show the pictures one by one, please?
Okay. Well, anyway,
What's that
so
included?
well, these pictures are because I began taking pictures, like I said, of the
That's why
sari sari stores. Like this one
ito.
here, I've over the last 3 years, I've
Uh-huh.
taken photographs of about 5,000 people all over the world. So of that 5,000 people, many of them, almost all of them, are just found on the streets. So they might be sitting on a chair, sitting on a bench, lying down on the floor. So I'm
Yeah.
not specifically looking for poverty. I'm looking for the real situation on the street. And I'm trying to find beauty in them because I look at people not as I'm not looking at them as a uh, target of charity or a target of compassion. I'm not trying to gain any kind of
Yeah.
political message to anybody. I actually see beauty in these things. It's just like, an artist will have a model
Next.
sit in front of them, and you will paint them, mga those nude models, right? I
Yeah. Yeah.
consider the people on the street to be my models. So oftentimes I'll bring food and money and I'll give it to them, and then I'll actually tell them, this is your talent fee, and they laugh, you
Uh-uh.
know,
Yeah.
because that's what I think of it as a relationship. When I take their
Yeah.
photo, I feel I want to compensate them. That's flowers, actually. I want to compensate them because if I can make their lives a little bit easier, this is one of the mixed media that I made.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
my latest. I did this one yesterday. So this is a man sitting on the front of his Jeep texting. So
Yeah.
So the thing is, I paint things that are very ordinary. Okay,
Yeah.
they're everyday scenes, and I don't. It's not like cliche because most Filipino painters, they'll paint fishermen, they'll paint someone in the barbecue. But
Yeah.
then I'm not looking for Filipino scenes. I honestly am not interested in Filipino scenes. I'm not interested in poverty. I'm not interested in
Yeah.
suffering. I'm interested in the beauty in these people because even if they are there on the street
It-
dirty,
Ito,
I find them to be I
sandali.
find beauty in them. I
Yeah.
Yung
find
isa,
I
yeah.
I find them inspiring, and I find the way that they are able to
Right.
withstand that life situation to be
Oo.
incredible. I think if I was in their situation, I would have killed myself long time ago.
Yeah. David, ito, ano to?
Oh, well, that's a man because I did some paintings of European people in.
Uh-huh.
So that is a foreigner. He's a foreigner.
Uh-huh. Okay. Can
That's
we
his face.
scan through your other paintings? And it's good
Well,
ito.
this one here was done in collaboration with a cement worker in Tagaytay. So I hired him. I made some sketches on bond paper, and I told him, "Can you make me a cement version of it?" So I gave
Uh,
him 20 sketches, just mga scribble, and I said,
yeah.
"Make this all into cement." So when he gave me the cement, I glued it onto Yakal board, and then I put velvet on the back, and then I painted it. So that was my art. So I created this mixed media work, and I did like 10 of those.
Yeah, parang
So
ano, is yung
yeah,
yung mga squares that you step on, parang ganun ba 'yon or
no, I guess so, but no, I just made it like some kind of
yeah.
version
Oo.
to experiment. So my work today use all of this as a stepping stone. So this is all my practice. So I was practicing and developing my knowledge of materials, my knowledge of paint, my knowledge of uh, color into what it is today.
Galing, ganda ng
Yeah.
unique.
So these are all just so now I went into this. So sometimes this is the way my art looks. In fact, my wife wants this kind of art to be my mode of expression. But artists always are changing. So you can't really go back to something. This is my studio in Madrid, Spain. So I believe I might be the only painter from the Philippines that has its studio there. So I paint whenever I'm there. I paint at least 150 paintings
50
when I'm
paintings.
in Madrid, and then I bring them back to the Philippines. So all the paintings from Madrid are brought back here.
Ito, galing, ang ganda nito pa. Again, mukhang sa Madrid ang subject mo dito eh.
Yeah, those are the Madrid subjects. But I don't paint Madrid subjects anymore
Can
because
you
I
take a
feel
look at
I want to be more. I was just forcing myself to do the Madrid because I felt since you're in Madrid, I should just paint the Madrid. But I have too much to do here in the Philippines that I can never finish it. Like I said, I have 5,000 portraits of people. So I have a backlog of 4,500 portraits to do. It's just, I can never finish it. I can never finish it. So I cannot, maybe
David, your wife is a Filipina?
a Filipina, but she's there right now in Madrid. So I go there and I spend a few months of the year in Madrid.
I see, I see. Yeah, and wow. So, what does David do in his free time? Or do you still have free time?
Well, I do a lot of walking. I love to walk. So no matter where I am, I'm walking. So if I'm in Cagayan de Oro, I'm walking. If I'm in Bacolod, I'm walking. If I'm in Iloilo, I'm walking. In Manila, I'm walking. I walk at least 15,000 steps. So that's like 2.5 hours of walking in the morning. And then, of course, I paint at some point during the day. And I'm available to my customers when they need me, when the office needs me. They just request my presence. But of course, now we can work anywhere. So we have many branches all over Manila. So I don't really go to anywhere specific. I just make myself available when there's a need.
Yeah, yeah. And wow, and I can understand that your customers are piling up, no? With all these trends that are showing and developing, no? Yung mga houses
Well,
made of marble, mga ganon.
well, of course, there's more competitors now than ever before. Like
Uh,
for the first 20 years or 23 years of our company, there was only maybe 10 competitors. Now, in the last 3 years, there's almost 20 new competitors that came online. So China is becoming, they're looking for new markets and they're trying to penetrate the Philippines. So there's Chinese materials everywhere. So we're just happy if we can maintain our market share because, with all the competition, it's getting more tough out there. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like it's not like we're the only game in town. There's many people doing what we're doing. The only benefit that we have is, of course, we have track record
yeah,
and we have the experience, and of course, we have some proprietary materials. But other than that, it's like you're selling basics, because 90% of stone is available from any seller. So when they come to us, it's normally because they know that we will do a good job, because they know we won't run away with their money. They know that we have a good reputation. These are the reasons that they might work with us. Because a lot of times they can just go to a DIY and just buy a tile and put it in the back of their pickup truck, and that's how many people do it.
Yeah,
And
but
then and they can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has a right to build and follow their budget. They don't have to be forced to do anything.
yeah, but your expertise is unique. Of course, the
Well, that's
experience that
why
you.
some people who want to have something different will go to us. Like,
Yeah,
I have if you have a special car like a Porsche, you can go to a cheap mechanic, and they'll try to fix it, and they'll do their best, and they're very honest, but they just don't know how to do it because they've never seen it before. So
that's
you
correct.
end up experimenting. So you spend once, you spend twice, you spend three times, and maybe you're still saving, but you go to the real mechanic, you'll spend a lot, but they'll get it right
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they know
and
how
you
to do it.
you spend once only.
You only spend once. Like, uh, you know, they'll know the right compression, they'll know the right air fuel mixture, they'll
Yeah,
know the right tolerances, because they did it before. Because the only way to learn is through experience. So we have 25 years of experience, and a lot of times, even to us, it's we're
yeah,
still learning every day. So
and
imagine if you only
uh,
started yesterday, you'll be
yeah,
making a lot of mistakes.
and what's important also is your prospective customers have a wide array of choices that you can present and
Oh
give
yes,
you advice on each of those choices.
we're like a
Galing.
doctor. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I had a stomach problem. I think I ate something when I was in the province, and I explained my situation, and the doctor said, "Okay, take this medicine." Now I'm
yeah,
okay. Same thing with stone. The client just has to tell us what it's for, what are their needs, and then we'll recommend it. We'll say, okay, you use this stone. So you don't have to be the one to make that decision.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like a lawyer. You don't want to be the one to make your legal decision. You get a lawyer and you pay him and you listen to him, right? So with
yeah.
your stone, you do the same. You get an architect, you listen to your architect. Uh, Same thing with your engineer. If not, you'll end up doing it 2 to 3 times.
Siguro, David, Shine is already signaling na we are already on overtime. Siguro, one of
Okay.
my last questions is this. Why would I buy stone instead of wood for houses or
Well,
sa-
well, number one, the durability, because I believe good design is about longevity. Just like your chess set, after
uh,
20 years, it's still there. And
yeah,
the pyramids of Egypt, after 7,000 years, it's still there. So stone is non-biodegradable. It can never be affected by ani or moisture. Number two, it'll never look old, because it's just like a diamond or an emerald or a ruby or a what do you call it, jade. Even after 200 years, it still looks brand new. So a stone is the same thing. Marble, granite, travertine, it'll still look good even after 100 years. So it's really a good investment when you think about the durability, because in the end of the day, why will you spend more when you can spend less? That's always going to be the question mark. So the answer is, you can't just say, oh, it's because it's prettier, because sometimes tiles look better than stone. I mean, I must admit, there are tiles that are beautiful, but will it last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? And I submit to you, it will not. it will only last maybe 5 years. And then after that, you have kapak, you have cracks, it's broken, it's coming out, and then you have to spend again. So that means you have to spend again on demolition, on hauling, on trucking, on cement, on buying the new material. And then you have to go out and buy it yourself again. And then when the tile, let's say you bought it today, 1,000, the tile in 10 years' time will not be 1,000. It'll be maybe 3,000 because of inflation, right? So that means you're not, so for a 10-year period, you didn't only spend 1,000, you spent also the future replacement cost of the
Yeah.
3,000 plus also the cement and the demolition and the trucking charge. So
Yeah.
all of that is your expense. So you didn't just spend 1,000 because your house is a durable good. It's not
Yeah.
something that's only going to last for one season. It's going to last for generations. So
Yeah.
just like if you go to the houses in New Manila or whatever, you look at the houses with marble, even if they are from the 1950s, nandyan pa. So they
Yeah.
never change it. They never change it. That's almost 60 to 70 years. So that means they saved all that money. They never had to spend again. It's like you bought a Rolex. You didn't have to buy another watch. It lasted the whole
Yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah.
It's like a
Another.
lifetime warranty. So
Another.
so when you might spend more, but you only spend it one time because it's just like when
Yes.
you're buying health insurance. Now we're
Yeah.
working, we have income, so you better pay for your insurance policy now because when you're retired, baka wala ka ng pera, right? You have no more job, you have no more salary. So how can you pay for your life insurance? You can't because it's expensive, right? So you pay while you're working. So today,
Yeah.
when you're building the house, you still have an income. So you buy the best you can buy that will last the longest so that when you're old, you're at an age that you're retired, you're not earning anymore, you're just living off your savings. You don't want to have to say, you don't want your contractor to say, "Oh sir, we have to change your floor. How much is it? 500,000." Ay nako. Saya, you have to get your money. You're already retired, and you have to spend 500,000 on
Yes.
your floor. So better spend the 500 now that you're still able to
Earning.
work and earn it again, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Galing.
it. So spend the money now. Just like a Toyota, buy the Toyota because it like has a better resale, low maintenance, stuff like that, right? As
Uh,
compared to you buy I don't know, like an unknown brand, like a European brand, like an
better
Opel.
comparison.
Uh, I don't know what brand, but some brands are high maintenance.
Yeah.
Uh, they may be cheap, but when you bought it, like you can buy a Bentley. I saw on the internet on YouTube. There's the Bentley cost $150,000. Now they're only selling it for $30,000. Why? Because the maintenance will kill you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If you have to change the carburetor, it's gonna kill you. The Bentley you can buy. There's Rolls Royces being sold right now, only 1 million, 1.5 million. But if you have a problem with the engine, maybe the repair is 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
Galing.
why people buy Toyota Land Cruiser because zero maintenance. So you
And
spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money. It costs a lot. It's really, really expensive, but it's like it's bulletproof. It's not going to break down, and
yeah.
it's cheap to fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Of
that's
course, and
important.
yeah,
The
that.
you want to lower your recurring cost.
Yeah, and of course, it's a wonderful investment.
Oh yeah,
And
in your house, and you'll be different from your friends, and they'll feel that you have a good taste. Those are all the positive things of having a beautiful home. And Filipinos, they don't. If you're a very big time businessman, you're not doing business in your office. You're doing it in your house. You're if you're, let's say, a Ayala, or you're a Concepcion, or you're a Lopez, you're inviting people to your house. You're entertaining in the house. You have a caterer, and you do your business there. You're building relationships with your future business partners, and you're doing deals from your house. That's how they do it in India. That's how they do it in China. That's a very Asian thing. Your house is a business tool. It's like it shows your status, and it shows your capability. Because if you go to a person's house, let's say you're trying to do a deal to do a power plant, and you're trying to get $1 billion loan, and then your house is only a studio in a condo. Of course, the bank will not think you're serious, right?
Yes, yes.
But if your house is in Forbes Park, and you talk about the power plant, and then you have a helicopter, they'll realize, yes, that's okay. I trust this guy. So it's part of the business
Yeah.
showmanship that people do around the world. That
Yeah.
most people build their houses for that. It's not really because they need 10 bedrooms. They don't need a gigantic lobby. It's really for entertainment. It's for their social circle. It's for their future business. It's for their organizations. They always have Rotary Club. They have Lions Club. They have church
Yeah.
meetings. So it's like it's part of the it's part of it's part of the tools of a business person to create image of stability and credibility. So when you build a house that is full of tiles from a DIY, like from the hardware, rich people know that. Even if you're wearing a Rolex and your tiles are like 25 pesos from hardware, they will know, oh, that Rolex is fake. You know what they say? It's like, how can you tell when you look at the bag, the Hermes bag, you don't look at the bag, you look at the person. That's how you know if it's real or not, right? So it's just like that. You don't look at the watch, you don't look at the clothes, you don't need to. That's only one aspect. It's the whole package. So your house is part of your own personal brand,
Yeah.
your own identity. Maybe even as a politician, your house has to represent something also. It has to represent that you're a family man, that you have that you love children, that you care about community. That's all part of the image of a politician. You can't just be a guy from a studio, riding a jeep, and then you just, barambado. You have to create engineer a identity for who you are, right? Because you're selling an identity to the public. Even if you have a good intentions and you have a good heart, if you look the opposite, they will never vote for you, right?
Mm.
So you have to look like your message, or you have to at least appear. You have to give them the package that they're looking for. And I'm sure many politicians are that way, because it's hard to fake that. But they see that. They'll see if you're family. They'll see if you're religious. They'll see if you are educated. They'll see if your house is messy. They'll know. That says something about you. If you can't have a nice house, how can you run a good government? Magulo ang bahay. Sigurado magulo ang government, right?
Mm. Tama.
So that's the way it
Tama.
is. That's the way it
Yeah.
is. If you can't maintain your house, how can you maintain a public park, a public school, a public building, a public road? I mean, you're bulok ang house mo, and then you expect me to believe you can improve the country.
Mhm.
So more or less, that's very important in terms of
Well,
public image.
well
Yes,
said, David.
that's
And
part of
Wow, we have certainly gone over time. Can
Oh,
I ask,
thank you.
can I ask for your parting message, David, please?
Well, uh, as a company owner, I'm so grateful for all the years of support that we continue to have from all of our customers. And also, of course, I'm so grateful to my employees who've been so loyal. They've been with us since the very beginning. So I'm eternally grateful to the Philippine market for their warm reception over the last quarter century. And now that I'm doing something a little bit different, I hope that they will also welcome my art into their lives and show the same appreciation to this new side that I'm showing to the Philippine people. Because it's not like I'm a new artist. I've been painting all my life, but it's only now that I decided to show it because I'm already getting old, and I think you got to do it now or never. It's about time.
Galing.
It's about time. So now at least the company can call me through the cell phone, so I have more time to paint. I can email, cell phone, messenger, WhatsApp. So at least I don't have to sit down there 8 hours a day anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, attorney.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, David. At the end of the episode, every episode, my role is to summarize my takeaway. What have I taken away from the episode? Now, obviously, this afternoon, you had brought us to uh, a journey that of your world, a world of essentially it's art. It's art, no? It's really art. In fact, even the stones that you supply, what you have done with regard to many of these projects that you have told us, you have not only the durability of the product that you are selling, but also the art that your product is demonstrating. So you really have that no with you. Even now, as you have said, you are devoting more time in painting again to show your art, your love of art, and how art has affected your life. So, salamat, David. Thank you very much.
Yes,
We
maraming
wish you
salamat.
all the best. We wish you all the best. Next time you're in Cagayan de Oro for another client, and I'm sure that client will be another Manny Pacquiao or another Vice Ganda, please do
Sure.
feel free to touch
Well,
base with us.
maybe when the house in Marawi is finished, we can invite you there because that
Yeah.
will be an incredible project. It's going to be
Wow,
such an incredible project. You
ang
will
galing.
think you're in Singapore, but you're in the middle of Marawi, and I find that so amazing that there's so much confidence in this area, and I'm so happy, that being also a half Mindanaoan because my mom is from Davao, that there's all this growth and positive um investment grade happening in the Philippines, especially Mindanao.
And that Marawi house certainly would be, once it's completed, it will have delivered a very important signal, not just to us here in northern Mindanao, but also to the whole world. Because
Yes,
not long ago, Marawi was subject of a siege, and
correct.
so this certainly this project has a redeeming effect
Oh
to
yes,
restore the place of Marawi in our history. Thank you very
that's
much, David.
so important. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And God bless and have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much,
Thank you for
Attorney.
having me.
And Sir David, thank you for joining us today. And dagan salamat ug maayong hapon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.